Stop beating yourself up for being lazy. Truth is, laziness isn't real. We've all been there. It's late, you're in bed, and you're convinced tomorrow is the day. You're gonna wake up early, hit the gym, be disciplined, but then morning hits and you're in a different body. You're heavy, you're exhausted, you've lost all resolve. We call it a lack of motivation, but we're wrong. In this video, I'll explain why your brain is actually trying to protect you when you try to change your life.
Almost everyone knows this moment. At night, you lie in bed and feel certain. Tomorrow will be different. You'll wake up early. You'll work out, eat properly, focus, be disciplined, finally get your life together. And then morning comes, and you wake up in a completely different body. Heavy, unmotivated, already tired. By noon, the plan is gone. By evening, the guilt arrives. And by night, you promise yourself you'll try again tomorrow. And the explanation you reach for is simple. I just don't have enough motivation. It sounds logical, but it's the wrong diagnosis. We've been taught to think of motivation as a motor. If it's there, we move. If it's gone, we're lazy. Psychologically, that's not how it works. Motivation is not a system. It's an emotional impulse. It appears when you see an image, a result, someone else's success, a vision of a better version of yourself. It's a spark, and sparks don't last. Motivation was never designed to carry you through repetition, boredom, uncertainty, or fatigue. Expecting it to do that is like expecting caffeine to replace sleep. It will lift you briefly, and then it will disappear. This is where the cycle breaks people, because the decision to change is made by emotion, but the execution of that decision is handled by your nervous system, and your nervous system has priorities. Conserve energy, avoid pain, and stay in what is familiar. If you are chronically tired, overwhelmed, emotionally drained, or burnt out, your system will resist long-term effort, even if you want the result. Not because you're weak, but because your brain is doing its job. When people ignore this, they start forcing themselves, pushing harder, using shame as fuel. That works briefly, and then it collapses. This is where the word laziness usually appears. But what we call laziness is rarely a character flaw. Most of the time, it's a signal that there is not enough energy, too much complexity, or no real internal reason to continue. The problem isn't that we listen to the signal, the problem is that we misinterpret it. One of the most common mistakes is setting goals that are psychologically too large. Change my life, become disciplined, finally fix myself. Your brain doesn't hear inspiration in that. It hears danger. There's no clear path, no visible end, no predictable cost. So it applies the brakes. What actually works is not motivation, but reduction. Not I'll start running, but I'll go outside for 5 minutes at a specific time with no requirement to perform well. This lowers resistance, and resistance, not motivation, is the real enemy. Another reason motivation collapses is past failure. If you've tried before and burned out, quit, or felt humiliated, your brain remembers. And when you get inspired again, it doesn't celebrate, it warns you. It says, "This ended badly last time." That's not sabotage, that's protection. Ignoring this history doesn't make you stronger, it makes the resistance louder. The only way through is analysis. Where exactly did it break? What expectations were unrealistic? What cost you didn't account for? Without this, every new beginning triggers anxiety instead of momentum. External motivation makes this worse. Phrases like, "If I did it, you can too. Just start. You just don't want it badly enough." They sound empowering, but psychologically, they create a trap. Because if you fail, the conclusion becomes, there must be something wrong with me. And shame is not a sustainable energy source. So what works if motivation doesn't? 3 things. First, energy. If you're depleted, the smartest move may not be progress, but recovery. Second, clarity. Not grand purpose, clear actions, clear limits, clear expectations. Third, internal alignment. Not constant self-praise, but the decision to stop treating yourself as the enemy. Here's the most important part. There is nothing fundamentally wrong with you. You're not broken, you're not lazy by nature, you're not missing some secret trait. You were just trying to use motivation for a job it was never meant to do. Motivation is a spark, not an engine. And when you stop demanding the impossible from it, life doesn't magically become easy, but it becomes workable.
Understanding yourself is a skill. Subscribe and like.